Welcome to another live episode of Halftime Adjustments. Your host, Eddie Arnell, my man G with Mr. J. Lewis. What's going on, gentlemen?
Tighten up, baby.
Tighten up, man. Week 14, is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Week 14. Yes. Titans come in after what I thought was embarrassing last week. Boy, did I.
Yeah, we got worse this week.
Worse this week. Coming in, man. You heard all week Cali was getting in them and, getting on them at practice this week. Thought maybe, home game, Jacksonville. Kind of talked about it last week that at least on paper, Titans had a little bit more talent than Jacksonville. Sunshine being out, you had Mac Jones. We all know his history in the league so far hadn't panned out the way people thought he was going to pan out. But the Jaguars come in today and end the slim playoff hopes of the Tennessee Titans 10-6. And this is a game where you win the turnover battle and you still lose the football game, which doesn't happen often. Against the NFL's worst defense, you can only put up 6 points. So, oh my gosh, this was by far this was by far the worst. This was even worse than the beatdown we took from the Commanders and the Lions.
Yeah.
And Green Bay.
And
yeah.
Buffalo.
This was the Buffalo. This was the worst game of the season. But man, appreciate y'all coming in. All the comments and questions. Keep bringing them. Darius, Brian Grover, man. K. Lou, Nathan, Esco. Thank y'all for coming in, man. Everybody else coming in. Get your comments and questions in. J. Lou. Coming at you first today, this week, man. What? Give me something, man. Give me. I know you got a silver lining on one of them at least. Give me one good one and two bad ones, because I know you got plenty of bad.
Oh, you know me. I think the silver lining. There was no major injuries.
There was no major injuries.
That's a good silver lining. This game, as I sat out there in this semi-cold rain as it started to drizzle, and you realize going into the fourth quarter, and you can ask Mr. Ken Lou. I told the team around my area, my guys sitting near me, as we got to the 2-minute warning, and I told G Witt when I seen him out the game, I said, watch, the Titans are going to find a way to lose this game on fourth down in the red zone. And I be darned.
You knew it.
If that didn't happen. You pointed out, I guess no turnovers is another silver lining. We didn't turn the ball over. I thought special teams looked better. Now, I think I advocated last week or a couple weeks ago when we was talking about return man. I kept saying put Spears back there because you're not using him enough in the offense, and we've seen that especially the new kickoff is designed for more running backs to be back there because they're used to running in traffic. So now there was a shot. There was a moment where there was some a heated exchange, I guess I'll say, between him and Colt on the sideline after one of those returns that he took. Don't know what that is, but the writing's probably on the wall for my guy Colt. But yeah, you wanted to come out, and we all said that you got punked last week on both sides of the line of scrimmage. I thought you set the tone coming out with the first drive with eight straight runs.
8 straight runs.
And the other negative that I'm going to continue to have, and after 14 games or 13 games, however many it is now, Brian Callahan is who he is. He is terrible at red zone offense.
Yep.
Terrible.
Yep.
This team went from 4 yards and in with a running back that could fall forward for us to now we want to just be pass happy down there. And it's just, granted, and I'll get into it when we get into the offense. But yeah, I think I'll just leave it at that so I can save some hit. But that's probably how I felt about today's game. Just sitting there, you knew, because you made Mac Jones look like he still belonged in the NFL, and he really shouldn't be. So yeah, that was. This one, I agree with everything you said at the top. This probably was one of the most disappointing. Forget the blowouts. This one was more embarrassing and just you could not score a touchdown against the worst team in the league.
Worst defense in the NFL. G Witt, go ahead, man.
Well, one positive, they had a good running game. Tony Pollard did run the ball well.
He did. He ran the ball well.
and they only had 4 penalties today.
That was a shocker.
5 yards. Now, granted, they weren't throwing a lot of flags in that game. That was one of the quickest games we've been at in forever.
Man, it was 4 quarters. It was just, and it was 2:00.
Yeah, I know.
The 2-minute warning hit at 2:30.
Yeah. And my wife was like, "The game is almost over." I was like,
Yes.
"Yeah." She said,
It went quick. But again, there's a lot of issues to cover as far as this game. By far, yeah, you're right. The most disappointing loss of the season, without a doubt. Even with the dumb plays that Will made against Chicago and against the Jets, this qualifies as the worst loss of the season. And the thing is, I just couldn't figure out the play calling on both sides of the ball. Didn't make any sense. And I couldn't understand. I agree with you, Jay. Lou, special teams I thought were better, a lot better today. And even the kickoff coverage was a lot better. I just couldn't figure out why and I'm just going to put this out there now, is why after you go up 6-0, and all the previous times you've kicked off or whatever, you kick the ball short, let them catch the ball short, and your coverage team has stopped them like at the 20, the 22. You decide to tell him to kick it through the end zone and put them at the 30. Sometimes the logic in this game, I'm just going to say it. I think we said it after we ran into each other after the game, J. Lou. Bottom line is they didn't want to win this game. They wanted it to be over with.
Yeah, and it was, and we've been on here talking about tanking, and they say they would never lose on purpose. Today, of all days, it looked as though they were not trying to win. 8 straight runs, okay, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to establish a line of scrimmage. I get that. But you got the worst defense against the pass in the league. Even the commentators are like, I don't understand why they're not throwing the ball. Yeah. Because you got a bad secondary that can't cover.
So, they covered today.
Yeah, they covered today because guess what? Now they know we got to throw the ball.
Yep.
I agree with you, because I was wondering why when they ran the ball 8 straight times, there was not one play action.
Not one.
There wasn't much play action today.
No, it was not.
I was like, you running the ball great. Run play action.
Yeah. So,
not.
I mean, it's going to be hard for them not to convince me that they were trying to win that game today, because it didn't look like it. It did. And I hate to say that. I really do.
Yeah, I didn't even listen to the comments after the game from the coaches or whatever, because I'm like, I don't feel like hearing anybody lie.
Yeah, I mean, you get down there. You have a 15-play drive for 90 yards. Great. Thing of beauty. But then you get down there, to your point, J. Lou, and you throw the ball 3 straight times.
3 straight times.
The bad thing, you had 1st and goal from the 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ran the ball. Got 2 yards.
Yeah.
And from then on, you decide you're going to throw the ball on every down.
Yeah. I don't think there was a 1 halfback screen, to Nathan's point. Might have been one. Oh, it was one to Tajay. Yeah. He got hit in the backfield.
Well, I mean, that screen should have been scraped because it was so slow developing. That's the double fake. But yeah, that one
double fake him in the short flat over there behind the line of scrimmage. But yeah, man. My thing here's a couple things I picked out. Of course, here's a silver lining. We got a gunner in Brian Oliver. He's good on special teams. He's good getting down the field. He's got some speed. Gifford, he's definitely a special teams player.
Yeah,
and I said it last week.
Yes.
I don't understand this week. Now, if you were playing to lose the game, why wouldn't you play James Williams and Cedric Gray? I'm just asking. Or just one of them. Right, Gifford is a special teams player, no ifs, buts about it. I mean, even feeling his gap integrity was not good today. I mean, he run into the back of the defensive line. I'm like, dude, I mean, come on. You in the league for a reason. You got to be, right? You got to be, because you were good at one point. Again, we talk about the run versus the pass. I already kind of hit on it. The defense, to your point, G, with what? The scheme, I don't know, man. You got a Mac Jones who is not mobile. Right?
At all.
You got a team that's only got one true receiver in Brian Thomas Jr. That's really a threat. You got Evan Ingram, who is he's a pretty good tight end. I'm not gonna say he's not, but you got Gifford on Ingram, man-to-man coverage.
I was like, what the heck?
Right. And then Brian Thomas, he starts going off in the second half after you held him to no catches. So, yeah.
But here's the thing on that, man. Somebody, for the life of me, I just want to know. I'm just a fan who wants to know. You've been playing press coverage all season long. And for some ungodly reason, these past 2 games, you decide you're going to play off zone. And I'm like, dude, you can't cover, and you got a young team. I'm like, how you going to cover with that? And your pass rush with 4 players isn't that great. One of the problems they had today was people getting out of their gaps, containment gaps, and letting Mac Jones run through.
Yep.
I'm like, and it happened with Arden Keaton. It happened with Harold Landry. Both of them. They rush upfield, and there's nobody behind them. He got a gap where he can run through and run for 5-6 yards.
So let's hit on the defense first, since we on that topic, because I want to mention this, and I'm gonna kick it back to you, G Witt, about the defense. And so we are gonna, and somebody mentioned we need an edge rusher. Not only do we need an edge rusher who can rush the passer, but if we're gonna play this scheme where we're gonna drop the edge rushers in coverage, we got to get somebody who can cover too. Arden Key, bless his soul, he drops in coverage. He sees the quarterback coming. He leaves the receiver wide open. He comes up and try to make the sack. No, you stay back. Somebody else can make that. Give up the 5 yards or 4 yards. Don't give up the 12 to 15. So we're gonna have some guys that not only can rush, but can also drop in the coverage. But G-Witt, man, talk to me some more about the defense, man.
Okay, they only got 1 sack today, and I'm trying to think of when that was. I can't even remember, unless it was on.
So it was the one that they didn't announce it in the stadium, but Mac Jones scrambled and he got tackled.
Yeah, Harold Landry.
Yeah. I thought that was it, but I wasn't sure. Yeah. But defensively, okay. I hate to be hard on the defense because they did hold them scoreless for 3 quarters. But I'm more upset with Denard Wilson. I'm like, I don't understand the scheme, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand the scheme. And Doug Peterson, bless his heart, he knows he's probably on the way out too. He did a smart thing. He finally went quick tempo and kept them in that base package, and they couldn't cover everybody. Yeah. Which really boggled my mind, because I'm like, okay, you don't even have anybody you could just rush in there to get to make a sub or whatever. I'm like, come on. I don't understand. Most of the game out on this one, I put it squarely on the coaches. I don't understand what they were doing. Now, I'm just a fan. I don't understand what they're trying to accomplish. And I'm with you, J. Lou. If you're going to play this type of coverage, you want to do all this, why not play the young guys? Why not play the young guys?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I thought Otis Reese had a good game.
He did.
But I'm like, Gifford, I mean, you drafted Cedric Gray to be the green dot. And now you're saying that he can't do it?
Yeah, he's a healthy guy right now.
And he's healthy.
Right.
And I'm looking at this, I'm like, what is going on? I had some huge problems with this. Found out that number 35, Worley, doesn't like to tackle.
At all.
Does not like to tackle.
Yeah, he was allergic to contact today.
Yeah, man, he don't like to tackle. He wants to hit you with his shoulder, and I hate to say it, but he reminded me of somebody we've had on this team before. I'm just gonna put it out there. Who played in the defense, who played safety. So really, I just thought it was just overall on the defense. I thought they did some good things, but the bottom line was they couldn't make stops when they needed to. And it happens to them time and time again in the fourth quarter, where they can't make stops when they need to. And that's either stopping the run or stopping the pass.
Right. What's crazy is they have the worst fourth down efficiency defense in the NFL.
Oh yeah, they can't. Fourth down is automatic for all teams.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think everybody's converted all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got yeah. When they went for it on fourth down that one time, I said, "Well, they're gonna get this." I already knew that because we haven't stopped anybody on fourth down the whole season, which is weird. And also the other thing that bogged my mind, and I'll let you go, J. Lou. We held them to a little bit under 50% on third down, but we gave them a lot of third and longs.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. And the one that drove me crazy more than anything else was when we had them down on the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
And how is
awful.
it that you allow Ingram to go into the flat wide open with nobody?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kick it to you.
Yeah.
So that, I guess it was either Ingram or it was 85. I think it was 85 for the Jaguars. I'm pretty sure that long pass going towards you, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The same coverage that they put Gibby in.
Yep.
They had Gifford
in. Yep. and he tripped over himself. Oh yeah. Oh, don't worry. I called it when he was tripping. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Go ahead, J. Lou.
So that was the first thing. We texted earlier when I told y'all that the starting linebacker was out. I'm like, oh, we're gonna get to see Williams and Gray. Mm-hmm. Then we get to the game and they introduced defense first when they came out of the tunnel. And when they introduced the defensive starters, and I saw the linebackers, I said, oh, we put Gifford in here. He's just slow. And again, the tackles that he got, because he might have had like 8 or 9 tackles. I get that because you're the linebacker, and usually you should be getting tackled, especially on run stuff. But he is beyond a liability in coverage. We've been saying it since last year. Otis Reese, when he really figure out what he's doing, is going to be great because he has speed, and you saw that today. It's like Doug Peterson. We were playing a team who we know is tanking and laying down, and they probably upset that they won because we were just that bad.
It was awful quietly.
Yes, because the Jags were doing everything up under the sun to give you that game, and you just couldn't take it. So Edgy would have been proud today. We saw a 5-man front. There were several times.
I saw that.
I liked it, but I hated it because I don't know. Go back and just watch the tape and watch how wide the D ends, to G Witt's point about losing container. There was one time that Arden Key, when he drew the false start, he was lined up on the receiver and rushing from right there on the side receiver. Like they're out too far. Yeah. I just don't get it. You continue to drop Harold Landry. You talk about him and Key getting, not covering. They get paid to make sacks. So, of course, when this quarterback starts scrambling, they get lost. I just thought, like, overall, just the defense. I thought Brown, again, another bright spot. I thought Brownlee did well. You saw him move to the slot. It was good to see Cheeto in there. Baker he's a liability. I think teams are starting to figure out Baker Jr. a little bit. He has an issue. He got away with one where the receiver just didn't catch the ball. Well, he's not turning his head around.
I was about to say his hips. It's his hips.
Yeah. Okay, his hips. He's not turning around, and that was one that Mac Jones should have been a touchdown. But I agree. We said it in the stands. We have not seen us play off coverage in a while, and it was short yardage today, and we were still 5, 7, 6 yards off the ball. There was one time. They ran the exact same play 4 times in a row to Brian Thomas Jr.
Yep.
4 times in a row. It was a quick little hitch because nobody was pressing up on him, and that we haven't seen that all year. So again, I don't know how. When you think about the Titans' defense and just the overall season so far, we have not taken advantage of the quarterbacks we have played. We played more backup quarterbacks than any team probably in the league and have lost to all of them. So it's just I don't get what I didn't see enough blitzes today to heat up Mac Jones. The one or few times that you got pressure on him, we forced him into turnovers. Outside of that, you just stopped doing it. So it's you're right. The defense just couldn't close the deal. And again, this is a game that Jacksonville handed you the game, and you just didn't want to take it from them.
They weren't trying to win either.
Worse than that, you run a blitz and the guy, instead of going up the open gap, he goes and hits right behind the defensive lineman.
Yes.
Where you going?
Gifford.
Yeah.
He ran right into Lynch. Where you
going?
Yeah.
You got a gap wide as a Mack truck, and you just ran past it.
And that was on 4th down. We could have stopped him. All you got to do is hit him in the hole.
And
he would have had some defensive help. But yeah, I agree with Eddie Gray. He said this was supposed to be a more aggressive team. The philosophy is not cohesive or consistent. When I look at the team, I don't see an identity
at all.
So Nathan is he's agreeing with you. I don't understand either G Witt why Denard moving away from the scheme that was working. Yeah, I don't know, man. Somebody got to answer some questions. Hopefully, the owner is asking questions like, "Hey, what happened to this aggressive team that we were supposed to have?" Because it's not there. The scheme, the tackling was subpar today again. Not really sure if, like I said, if you were going to play this way today, play the young guys. Let the young linebackers play so you'll know at least what you got,
Yes.
in a couple years when you got to make a decision on Murray, and then you got to figure out what you're going to do besides Murray. You know what I'm saying? If Cedric Gray's going to be your guy or not. But, yeah, it was definitely puzzling, to say the least, on the scheme today. Mac Jones goes for 220 yards from 23-31, 2 interceptions, 1 sack, no touchdown passes. Tank Bigsby led the Jaguars in rushing 18 for 55 and 1 tutty. Overall, Jacksonville 6 for 13 for third down, 291 total yards, outgaining the Titans by just a little bit. 5.55 yards per play, 71 yards rushing, 5 penalties, and 2 turnovers. So, we'll see what happens. I got Cincinnati coming in next week, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So, offensive side of the ball, Jay Luke, give me something, man. Give me something. I got a few things I think we're gonna be hitting on the same thing from all of us tonight.
So, I think everybody in the stadium knew Will probably got shot up at halftime.
Oh yeah, he said it.
Yeah, and you can tell that. First of all, I understand going for the Hail Mary because it's twofold. If he don't go for it, everybody in the stadium would have booed him anyway because saying you're not taking a shot. Especially when you got a quarterback can get it. The problem I have is they rushed 3 people. They rushed 3. They were in prevent defense, and JC has got smoked the past 2 games. He just got smoked. So
rookie wall.
Yeah, that's why I said I think he's hit that rookie wall. To G Witt's point earlier. And this is where, and I think somebody put it in the chat, you have to feel a little sorry for Pollard. He's actually having a great season. And he's running very well. That's what this O-line does. We can run block. We know that. They do a good job at doing that. Pass blocking has some opportunities. I did see as the second half came along, you had a couple of bootleg plays you called that I think are to Will Levis's strength and gets him moving.
He did well too.
He did well on those. I don't, and again, I will continue to say it. Today probably was the first time this season that it would not surprise me if we do clean house. I hate that. I wouldn't want to see it, but it wouldn't shock me if we clean house because I think that Callahan he's an offensive coordinator. I feel like he's got to be in that role before he can go be a head coach, particularly since, and again, I know you got folks that ain't call plays, etc. You saw his scheme again, and somebody said it earlier, and I know you don't know what you got with Will. If you can find a way to continue to lose and maybe get that 1 or 2 spot, you need a quarterback that can. We're missing that quarterback that has that extra second in their own head because there were several plays today. He went through his progressions right, and if he had an extra second. He hits the wide open man several times. And again, I thought the scheme was off, but I just think Callahan's better as an offensive coordinator. And the thing that nobody wants to talk about, if Bill Callahan's name was Keith Carter, would we be calling for him to be fired? I'm asking a legit question.
That's a great question.
NPF, my gosh. Yeah. I think I yelled at him all day too for you, and I was yelling at him the whole game. The entire season. Now, again, I think you said JC has hit his wall. To me, the most consistent lineman we've had all year. Okay, you gonna go Peter. I'll go Peter. I'll see Peter, and I'll see you, Dylan.
Yeah.
Those 2 to me have been your most consistent. Everybody else has had their right now. And again, JC, rookie, he's had his ups and downs. For the most part, has been more positive. But to me, the fact that you haven't been able to figure out that right side with anybody, and you keep having to trot MPF out there, and you got the greatest O-line coach there is. If this was Keith Carter, or anybody else, they'd be yelling for. I'd be treating him just like we treat Colt Anderson. So I just again the offense, man, it just I don't know what it was missing. I mean, you had all 5 tight ends up today, and I didn't see Robinson get. He got 3 plays, and not one of them was called.
I was gonna say I think it was just 5, but yeah. 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
Now one play was called for him, so I don't get it. But watching the game today, that was my takeaway on the offense. Is I think Callahan's scheme works phenomenal. He probably need to be OC, and then the flip side is you got to have that quarterback that can have that extra second in their head, because there was too many plays where Will Levis that the time just ain't in his head where the receivers are open.
And I said this earlier too, J. Lou, and I hate to say it, but that loss today was a fireball offense.
Yes.
I mean, it was.
Yes.
It was. I'm serious. I am so serious because, like I said last week, okay, yeah, you came out, you were overhyped, you laid an egg. Bad. Don't get me wrong. But that today, that you can't fill a new stadium with that with what they showed today. You can't. Go ahead, G Witt.
All right, so I will say this. Callahan today showed that you could tell he's a first-time true play caller and a first-time head coach, because what you have really going on is that you have people who don't understand situational football. There's a lot of situational football that you see happening in the game. It's like these guys don't know what to do, and he's not helping them get through that with his play calling. Again, I go back to what we said earlier. You had 1st and goal from the 4. You run it the first down and you get 2 yards and you throw 3 straight passes with a quarterback who is he's not really accurate in tight spaces. He's just not. And you got to understand that really when you stop and look at it, and today just kind of like it just proved it to me. Will Levis is a backup, a perennial backup. Will Levis does not have, I'm going to call it football sense, because he doesn't know how to play the game situationally. And he's out there playing like he's scared to make a mistake. There were a couple of times he had almost 4 seconds to throw the ball.
He had a lot of time today to throw the ball.
And couldn't find anybody. I'm like, and then the other times he had time to throw the ball, he was so focused on getting it to Ridley,
yes,
that he didn't look at anybody else. And to me, that's just a guy that just doesn't understand. He had opportunities to run today, and he didn't take them. Roll out, had plenty of time, had room enough to get 5 yards easy. Would not run. Not run. And for the life of me, I can't understand Callahan. You only run one quarterback sneak. And you had on short yardage situation, and you had multiple times where they didn't have anybody lined up over Brunskill, so all you had to do was to snap the ball and go straight, just like you did. You're going to get 2 yards. They could have did that when they had it 2nd and goal from the 2.
Sure could have.
It's just bad, because I was looking at the game. I was like, okay, either he can't see or nobody's getting open.
Nah, he can't see.
Well, he can't see. We already know we got one of the best separation rates in the league now. Yes. We know that. The numbers are just mind-boggling.
And he's late with the ball on top of that.
Yeah.
When he does see it. I'm going to give, again, like I said, NPF is NPF. And they were trying to help him, to their point. They were trying to help him. But there was a couple of times I'm looking at him like, dude, you didn't even see where you're supposed to go. I will say Latham, again, I thought he played better in the second half. After he gave up that hit on Will, he came out. Like you said, it upset him going into halftime. He came out. I thought he played better in the second half. He definitely was dead on his feet in his back kickback for the first half for sure. Especially on that sack where Will got hit. He just got blown by. But I say in the second half he played a whole lot better. I agree with you. I thought the center of the line played well. Dylan had his obligatory holding penalty or whatever the case may be.
All that was a pancake. That was a
That
pancake.
was a
The
bad
replay I saw
call.
showed he hold.
No.
No.
It was a pancake.
That
Like
was a
literally,
bad
the
call.
guy.
You talking about on a touchdown run, right?
Yeah, on the touchdown
Because
run.
it was a cornerback because it was he was falling, like the guy was falling into him and pulling him down. And like it was a terrible call when you saw the replay from the backside of it.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, other than that, Brian Callahan, maybe he heard the rumors that we were hearing over the weekend,
Yeah.
and maybe he just decided, okay, this ain't my. If I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna go ahead and get fired and be done with it, because his play calling today stunk, big time, and you only scored 6 points.
6 points. And
6
you got
points.
a quarterback
And you
that
had
can't
drives
see.
where you were moving the ball.
Quarterback misses 2 people in the end zone. Can't
But
see.
the other thing about it too, it drives me crazy. For some reason, and I've said this before, I bet if we go back and look at the touchdowns that have been scored for this team, I bet you the majority of them, if not all of them, the majority of them have came outside the 20.
Mm-hmm.
And not because when he gets in the red zone, that offense doesn't go anywhere really. And it's always the play calling, and he always calls the craziest plays at the most inopportune time that doesn't make any sense.
Is Arthur really coming? I don't know.
I don't know.
We
I
don't
saw
know.
that and I was like, because people were calling me yesterday asking me if they had gotten rid of him already. But
enemy.
yeah, no, I saw that too. I don't know about him.
Yeah, he's a free guy. He got released, but there was supposedly a plan for him to come back to the NFL in 2025. But yeah, we already talked about the play call and quarterback play. Yeah, you've got to be able to see the field. Chig being, so wide open, wide open, and he didn't even see it. And the fact that he was just right underneath.
Yeah,
And so how do you miss him? I don't know. You got to make the throw to NWI in the corner on 4th down. I mean, he's wide open.
If you throw it early enough, he gets it.
Just drop it in there. Yeah. I know playing quarterback in the NFL is difficult, but man, whew.
Yeah, I don't think he's a starter.
There was a few drops today as well, which have been having a lot of problems with that. His best pass to me today was he hit Ridley on the run across the middle, and he almost broke it. That was his best throw today.
Yeah.
Of all the mishaps he had. But yeah, like I've been saying, for every good he does, is twice as bad out there as well. 19 to 32, 168 yards, 2 sacks, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Pollard 21 for 102. Spears, to your point, Jay Lou, only 6 carries today for 21 yards. Ridley had 12 targets. A lot of those were forced. NWI 1 catch today, ends his touchdown streak that he was on. It's just some crazy stuff, man. It's 2 turnovers. I mean, no turnovers for us. We win the turnover battle and we
lose.
And we lose the game.
Got the first interception.
Folk was 2 for 2 today as we go over special teams. I already talked about the punt coaches is better. If anybody has done better, it was Colt. I'm not Colt. Colt.
Colt. Yes. I didn't yell at him much today.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you, Eddie Gray. My wife, we said the same thing. Will Levis. He said even my wife was like, Levis was terrible today. Deion said, well, all this is telling me that we need a more competent QB. Yep. Keep tanking for Cam Ward. Either him or Shedeur. One of the two.
You're going to need a leader at quarterback, and Will Levis is just not it.
Got to have somebody. I don't think they're ready for Shedeur, J. Lou.
They not.
I just don't think so.
They not.
I always say this, because I said the same thing even about Jameis. You don't need to come here. You just don't.
Well, you going to have to get a quarterback.
I know what you gonna do. No, and don't get me wrong. It has nothing to do with his talent or anything. I think he's great. I think he's great, but you don't need to come here. Oh, yeah. Because you will never get a fair shake in this town. Certain quarterbacks just ain't gonna get it.
Oh, yeah.
If he wins,
even if he wins, I'm telling you.
So if Eddie Gray says Jennings from SMU. He played good last night, man. It's the first time I really watched him play. I was impressed. So, if you're going to win, which is the name of the game, and you got to have a franchise QB,
you got to get one.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
If we're saying right now that Will Levis is not the QB for this team, and I'm not disagreeing at all. And next year is the year that Callahan, let's say he makes it through this season, right? He makes it to 2025. Him and Rand both make it, right? So now he's got to get his guy. He's got to get a quarterback.
Absolutely.
The best quarterbacks that are coming out this year are two. And I understand what you're saying. I understand, Eddie Gray, what you're saying too. But if your job is on the line, you got to get the best quarterback out there.
You do what you got to do.
I mean, regardless of what people gonna say, fans are gonna say stuff everywhere they go. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So if you go if your job is on the line, you're gonna go with the best player that's out there. I mean, that to me, that's smart. Unless you just ready to get fired and move on from Tennessee, because it is what it is. Yeah, he's gonna get some flack, but they're the best two quarterbacks that's out there.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Easily,
I agree.
But we'll see, man. It's again, if the stadium wasn't in the position that it's in, you gotta start filling these seats,
man.
I would be like, okay,
it was empty.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying the new stadium. Yeah,
I know
stadium
was
empty
I'm
today.
just saying.
Yeah,
you see what happens today was empty.
Yeah. Eddie, I'm not sure if he's a red shirt or a true sophomore. Not sure.
He's a true sophomore.
True sophomore. Okay, so he's got at least one more season.
Yeah, he's got one more season.
Yeah. Steve McNair. Virgil says Steve McNair was accepted. He was.
Yeah.
Vince Young was the one that wasn't accepted because Fisher didn't want it. So.
Yeah. and I think that's the difference. V. White didn't have an issue with the fans until he threw a shoulder pass in the stadium. Yeah. They were high with him. It was because the coaches ruined him. So that what Ed said a few minutes ago. Think about the quarterbacks, the franchise QBs we have drafted since Mac 9. All of them have been one way or another. The head coach or somebody didn't really want them, and that was the guy they were supposed to take. If you get a team, and again, if Rand and Callie can make it through the season, I think they both have to. At this point in time, you got to cut bait. If my job is dependent on Will Levis, I got to find me somebody else.
They got to go get their guy. Whoever that is.
Yeah.
Whoever that is.
But it's really because what about the quarterback from South Carolina?
I don't know what year he is.
I think he's a sophomore too.
I was thinking he was young too.
I'm almost positive he's a sophomore.
Okay.
I'll find out in a second.
I mean, so you got some good ones out there.
Oh yeah, you got some good ones out there.
It's just
this the thing. If you're not in love with Shedeur or Cam, because those are the top two. I don't even give me Quinn Edwards. He's gonna Will Levis a team. Yeah. Kind of how Will Levis used that junior Kentucky tape to get drafted. It'd be the same thing. If you're not in love with a QB. And you somehow, I think you only moved up one slot today because all the tiebreakers. If the season continues to go his way, you probably could finish with a top 3. If you're not in love with one of them quarterbacks, the smart thing to do is you trade back no farther than 7th and get you an edge or somebody, load up some more picks, and then you find an opportunity of a veteran maybe coming available. I would keep my eye on that quarterback that plays for the Rams. Stafford. I'll keep my eye on that, on somebody who can be a 1-year stopgap for you if you're not sold on a quarterback out of the draft. But that to your point, Ed, about the stadium, you got to find you a quarterback you need in the next 2 or 3 years that's the face of the franchise to open that new building. And you don't, if you either got it, you either don't have it or you're gonna get it in the draft.
So if the quarterback from South Carolina is Sellers, he's a freshman.
Yeah, he's a freshman. Okay. I knew he was young.
He's a young cat. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Two-Tone Blue Studios, man. Thank you for joining. He said they said we gotta trust Rand to cook some more. We do. And so that's what I'm saying is his job, their job is on the line.
Oh yeah.
They gotta win.
Because
there is a new building coming up. Eddie Gray says Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that's another one.
Stopgap. What about Justin Fields?
Justin Fields. He's gonna be a free agent too.
I mean, I don't know. Somebody got to be out there that you can bring in Say he and Alfred would do work. Hey, they doing work right now for the Steelers. Who would have thought Russell been still throwing for 4 bills last week?
Man, what?
Sure, he even throw 2 touchdowns today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's weird.
Well, like I told the guy Saturday when he asked me about it, I said, you'll know how they feel about Will Levis come draft time. Because they draft a quarterback, you know he's on his way out.
I think you'll know before then.
I do too.
Really, I really do, because they could try to trade him, right? Somebody, a young QB on a 4-year deal. He's, that's the only bad thing about it. He's a second round contract, but still, first say we'll wait for Manning. Yeah, he still got 2 more years before he can be drafted. So, but he's not bad. He's not bad either. He's not bad. Yeah, but looking at the AFC South, of course, the Texans still sit. The Colts are still in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And 6 and 7, and then of course the Jags and the Titans. Got the Bengals coming in next week. Number 1 quarterback passing yardage wise, and the number 1 receiver yardage wise. This Sunday coming up at home, back-to-back home games. Yeah, we don't want Tannehill.
Yeah,
I don't anyway. He said, although Ryan back. But yeah, got that offense coming in. I'm sure it'll be sentimental for Cali, being he spent a lot his recent stop there is his career. But you got Joe Burrow who's throwing the ball all over the field, and Jamar Chase will put up 2 bills on you in a minute.
Yeah, it's gonna.
So we better not be playing that soft coverage because it's gonna get ugly.
It's gonna happen. The bottom line for next week, the problem you're gonna have next week, not only with their offense against our defense, but our offense against their defense. We've only scored over 20 points. What, twice, 3 times maybe this season?
Just twice, I believe. Yeah.
So we're not one. Everybody who's played Cincinnati has outscored them.
Yeah, Dolphins and the Texans.
Yeah,
that was it. 30 points.
Everybody who's played them has outscored them. Now, we're not scoring like that. We're just not. So.
Oh yeah, I know it.
I don't see next week coming out any good at all.
Now the thing about it is that the defense is not that good this year. So
neither was the Jags.
Well, yeah.
All I'm saying is everybody who's played Cincinnati has outscored them.
They had to.
And they had to.
Yeah.
Because Cincinnati's scoring.
Yeah.
And I just don't see us outscoring Cincinnati at all. I only see us coming close to outscoring.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's why you line up to play the game.
It is.
Again, I'm just saying. So that's all I can say.
Next week will be the first week that these gentlemen can officially be on Cancun watch. So
it was on Cancun watch today, Jay Lee. You didn't see him playing no sideline.
You had a tad bit of it, maybe, but yeah, once you officially got that eliminated sign today,
oh my god,
it's especially when you have a young team like we have and a young coaching staff with I forgot who mentioned in the chat, but just no identity. Like you went 13 weeks through the season, you have no identity on either side of the ball. This could be one of them games where you can pack it in. And again, to your point, whatever saving grace you might have had with Amy from beating Houston, you slowly sending it the other way with some of these embarrassing losses.
Yeah, because it's one thing. She's an Adam, and she don't like to be embarrassed.
And at all.
She don't like to be embarrassed
at all.
We know that for a fact. Go back to AJ Brown trade in Philly that game. What happened to J-Rob?
Hired the next day. The next day, he got showing his walking papers. So Darius said Sam Darnold will be out there. He will. Maybe.
They don't take it back.
I think Minnesota might try to take him back. You just don't know what that injury is to McCarthy.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's we'll see what happens, man. So they already played a Cancun today.
Yeah, they were. They had the combo trips and all ready after the day.
Oh my gosh!
They like, man, we only got 4 more of these things. Dang,
so bad, man. So bad. I just never thought.
They're looking at it like, good Lord,
I honestly thought they had 10 wins in them this year. I did. I really did.
Man,
I really did. And to see the wheels fall, I mean, they fell off today. The wheels fell off.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
To see that happen, it's like 8 degrees. He said we get blown out next week. Amy clean the house. She might.
Most definitely.
If it's ugly.
If it's ugly, yeah, most definitely.
Man,
I'll be surprised if it is ugly.
Somebody gonna get it. I don't know who gonna get it. Somebody gonna get it first. Right? It's gonna be heads are gonna roll.
They go out there and play, and Bernard Wilson calling that soft coverage defense again.
Oh my gosh! Somebody put it there earlier. Strategic tank. That's what it
tanking.
is. Are the Titans really that bad, or are we just seeing the greatest tank ever to be witnessed?
I think I've been calling for the tank for the past 2 years. I think you're seeing it.
But see, we behind the tank. The tank should have been 2 years ago.
Yeah,
We've been saying that on this show for the last 2 years. You should have blew it up after that run.
After that
we got beat by the Bengals at home.
That's when you blow it up. You blow it up then.
It's been down here ever since then.
Yep.
No, that's facts. That's reality.
Yeah, that's
reality. They held on too long. Mm-hmm. Didn't bring in a young child in. The draft was terrible. For
very much
2 years
true.
after that. And you try to run it back one more time, and what happened? Pew!
And now look
got your head coach fired, got your GM fired.
And now look at you.
Got themselves fired.
Can't even get over 6 points. But
they were part of it. They were part of it too.
Can't even score more than 6 points against the Jags.
Against the Jags, bro.
Against the
Jags. You talking about the Jaguars. 6 points. It was so embarrassing. That was so embarrassing today, even watch it.
Man.
That's true, Nathan.
And it started raining. I'm glad I'm not even there because that's terrible.
Yeah.
Who wants to sit through there and watch that terrible football?
Yes. And I think the best thing about the game today was it was High School Spirit Week, and they should have the Nolensville High School Band there all the time.
They got a good band.
And they were hyped in the stands.
Oh, yeah.
They were hyped in the stands. That was probably the best thing going on.
Even out the old cameo talking out of your neck.
They sure did.
Oh, they got one of the best bands.
The
time I've been over there, the few times I've been here lately, I
was like, that was probably the best thing because I mean, the guys on the field just no major injuries. I mean,
high school football was better this past week with the state
championship
game. Yeah. So shout out to them, man. It was a great football on high school. Yeah, college football was good.
College football was even good.
Yeah.
It was like
Nathan said we've been going down here since letting Cochran walk. You're right, man. That's the offensive line for sure.
Offensive line.
Facts for sure. Right side.
They haven't replaced them yet.
Right side. We hadn't replaced them yet. Deion says thanks, Variable, for not wanting to change anything. That's another true fact. That's exactly right. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
As bad as he was in that year that we did lose, got beat by Cincinnati, he didn't want to make a change. And he was horrible that year.
Let's just get yourself fired for wanting to be stubborn. Don't want to do nothing.
Stubborn.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope Callahan is not that stubborn. We'll see this week coming up. We'll see this week. Thank y'all again for joining us.
Maybe he's trying to get fired. Just go into the soft zone, get blown out, go somewhere else and coach.
He might be trying to get a head coaching gig at this point. I would say he would have been a hot candidate. I would have. As bad as it is, they're still number 2 in defense total. That's even with updated numbers. That's crazy. It's just hard to imagine that especially after last week when you gave up 267 on the ground, that you still got the number 2 total defense in the NFL.
By yards, yep.
By yards. Yeah. Eddie Gray said, what do we think about Diego Pavia? I don't think his arm is that strong. He's a good playmaker. He can make plays. He can see. He just don't have a strong arm. To me, he just don't have a strong enough arm. He's the perfect college quarterback. Yeah, I think he's what's my guy at Tampa Bay? Baker. Yeah, I think he's a step below Baker. He reminds me of Baker a lot. More athletic, but yeah, I don't know if he's got the arm strength that you would need. Deion says, J. Lou, there are some injuries in the game. It was the fans' tolerance that got injured.
Yeah, you right, Deion.
You're right, man. You're right. But again, thank y'all, man, for supporting the show. Halftime adjustments. Talking about the Titans. This is just awful. I don't know if it's been. No, it's been worse. It's been worse. Since we've been doing the show, it's been worse.
Yeah,
but it's bad. It's bad right now. It's really bad. Right now. It's real bad, and you know,
I think it's the first time in franchise history since 1984 that they have secured 3 straight 10-loss seasons.
and they got part of history for today, the lowest scoring game in the NFL.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, man!
Nah, it's been bad, man. It's been bad, but my worst fears were realized today.
What's that?
I told y'all when was the last time they hired a quote unquote quarterback guru? How did it look?
Yeah, 2-14.
Yeah, 2-14. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
yeah.
I think the problem with this quarterback guru is he ain't never called plays. Because
I was about to say the only difference is he's a play caller because his plays are good.
His
scheme is good.
He
just don't know how to call plays.
He just don't call plays.
Yeah,
like literally, he don't know how to call the plays.
I'm not saying he's bad at developing a QB because he's not good at calling plays, and we all got duped by the Will Levis playing a couple years ago in college, and then last year when he started off hot, and then people started catching on. So now, it is what it is. You only got 4 more games, man. 4 more games, and then you can go to Cabo too, J. Lou.
Yes.
Man, thank y'all. Let's see. Ed McKinney, man, thank you for joining. He says, would you say it was poor execution from the players or poor play calling by Callahan? That's a great question.
That's a combination of both.
I'm gonna say some of both myself. Yeah,
I'll say both because I think even after 14 games, Callahan still doesn't have a feel for the game.
That's true.
I say both sides of the ball. Callahan and Denard don't have a feel on how to call the game in a rhythm.
Yeah, and not only that, your offensive line on the right side is terrible.
Yeah.
So you compound that with the play call and with the decision making in the games, right? His game management as well, and the offensive line play, and a quarterback that can't see when people are open. Even when he had time, like I said, he had time today. I mean, really, he had time to throw the ball today.
Yes,
and he
couldn't find any
receivers that were open because they were open. Eddie Gray said, "No, y'all got duped."
Yeah, because the bottom line is, I remember I asked the question, Jay Lou was coming out, about Will Levis and the 2-minute offense. Has he ever let him down the field?
Nope.
No, not since he's been starting.
Nope.
Not at all. The only time we've scored any time in the last 2 minutes of the game is garbage time when we were up ahead against Miami. I think it was after we got the safety. Tony Pollard scored, and then the other time was against the Chargers, which was in garbage time, and they were already up 27 to 10.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, Dylan's not bad. It's the right tackle. I 100% agree. 100% agree with you. Dylan is not the issue. It's the right tackle. But when you have a bad teammate beside you, it's hard because when they run a twist stunt and you expect him to pick up that twist from your guy, and he don't pick it up, then you try to. Then what you gonna do? Now you trying to play 2 positions, and you can't really do that. So, but again, thank y'all for joining us, man. Join us next week. Talk about the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's a legit question.
What's that?
He said, "Do we have a 2-minute offense?"
I don't think so because we don't have any tempo.
You saw him do tempo twice today. The one time when they didn't want,
I saw that.
They did it one time for sure where they didn't want them to challenge the play.
Yep.
And then it was one other time he came to the line fast. Other than that,
and actually they were back to back.
Yeah, yes, they were. They were
back to back. Because he came up because they didn't want him to challenge that play, ran the play real quick, then they came right back and he snapped the ball, I think, with like 16 seconds left on the play clock.
That was it.
That was it. And my whole problem is, even if you experiment, and let's just say you just experiment with the team or whatever, at least run up tempo so you can get used to it when it comes to a 2-minute offense.
Right.
He gets back there, he don't know what to do. He literally does not know what to do.
Right. That's right. NPF got beat by safety. He did. It was a off the edge.
Off the edge.
Off the edge.
He's like, I know the guy's short, but come on.
He wasn't even out of his stance.
He wasn't out of his stance. That's funny.
Yeah, that offensive line, we came right now. I feel like we're back to the Houston Oilers when they had Jack Party.
Again, thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Halftime with Chubbs. Check it out next week. Next week, I can't even get it out of my mouth. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Check us out next week, man. Look for the time of the show. Probably be 6 p.m., but make sure you look out for those notifications. They'll pop out there. Put the information on there.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting the show. The comments, the questions. NPF will get beat by the stadium. That's so bad. It's so bad, dude. It's so bad. Thank y'all again for joining us, man. Thank you for coming out. Check us out next week. Halftime adjustments.